What I'm talking about is a shift in paradigm. You have on one side your classical masculine standard, the old guard, the chivalry among men, like sitting down as business partners if there's a problem and finding out what's wrong. Because neither of us are trying to fuck each other. Because neither of us are pretty ladies. I don't do business with pretty ladies. I bring them out, I buy them dinner. It's not philanthropy. I get to taste that sweet candy. Everyone knows who's the alpha male. It's a barter of sorts, sure. And then you have the other half of the side of this big, both of these interests, both parties have like a huge interest in a huge bunch of international conglomerate holdings. Don Corleone demands that we sit down because this pipsqueak here has been leading me down the line. And this pipsqueak, for all of his effeminate passive aggression, is very formidable. According to the contract of the bylaws of the company, the conglomerate, which both parties are entered into, there is a primary prerogative, primary agenda, which supersedes, if need be, for the immediacy and for the paramount importance of the topic to be discussed or hashed out. Like this thing, this supersedes what you were doing. We need to talk. We need to sit down. This guy, the Facebook, call him MySpace, he thinks the new age is his space, and for all he knows, it is. He is for the passive aggression. Well, no, the contract says even in primary agenda, which is defined as within the contracts, the bylaws of the company or conglomerate, within its member parties, its appendages, if you will. I don't have to. For this, it does not constitute me to do a sit-down meeting because that's how he planned it. Because on Skype, he can mute the guy. He can mute Don Corleone. Don Corleone can't sit across the table, and the guy can't feel, someone ripping off his balls just by a stare. It's a changing of the guard. It's like ultimately what is agreed to in the contract of the bylaws of the company, insomuch that both sides, or the entire conglomerate, is owned by international strong hands, like oligarchs, high-ups, to be fucked with in no jurisdiction and no sovereign. Ultimately, the arbitrator is going to decide with the contract, and Don Corleone loses, though he was right. And if you made this guy sit down, well, that's what they might not want to sit down because, their company was bought up over video based on one of these, mall photo booths, which merged together two shitty mugs into something that looks like it's human as well. So it's it might not want to sit down. But Don Corleone's like, no shit, that's why I demand it. But the arbitrator rules. Time was Don Corleone's money is in there. Any strong holdings money is in there. They're sitting down with that thing has a contract that says it doesn't have to or not. It goes and breaks into that guy's house in front of the cops, and who he said, show me where that man lives now. Or they'll be doing the same with your precinct. So that's the cop's job. They're hey, I'm here to make sure you don't burn it down, except that you first come through me. And all interests are doing their interests accordingly. Time was they'll come in and piss on that contract in front of you with that bullet to your head and says, you're gonna sign this other one with your brains. You don't sign over the company because the Don Corleone was goons on the ground and he was distraction like drugs and girls and gambling in the midst, which you can all have now on cyberspace. And they can't break your knees on cyberspace. They can't even prove if you're good enough with encryption that you were in their cyberspace. You use their money, you were even sweet talking like the digital avatar of a dealer, which is a lady, looking kind of Asian, I think. And you tipped her $5. Somehow it has a tip option for the dealer that isn't there. These are fucking numbers. These things are cold. They go 1 through 9. 0 through 9. 0 through 9. Start at 0. It's the whole basis of the perfection of the numeric system. Anyways, so what I was talking about to nobody was a shift in paradigm. The arbitrator is going to side with the contract and and overnight, like a Don Corleone is castrated. His huge piece of the company, which his granddad started and like built on grit and goon tactics within the goon system, so it's not like he did wrong. He survived where a lot of sharks perished. So, but like Don Corleone is not letting this is not about to stand there. This whole conglomerate is subservient to the digital god, this fucking MySpace, troll jerking off to binary. I'm not saying curious. I'm just saying cold. Zeros and ones. Oh, baby. Anyways. It's like, how quickly will they lose all masculine standard of the old guard? That's what the old people like in me. The young people don't know why they don't just kill me. And the old people are like, because we aren't putting you in the right position yet. We got his back, right? Because like it goes down to the paradigm as old as masculine power dynamic, which is age. Like the young bloods, not giving it. Because if this is some unaffiliated old man, no one's gonna give a shit if he gets shotgunned, And seeing how you're here, suicidal enough to be like, then go ahead and do it. The southern branch of the Americana, go ahead and do that right away. They're not kidding. Like they're like, we are the place of the young vato, and it's like, we are not concerned. Like, we take care of our abuela. I'm not judging them. This is how things organically manifest based on, well, that hot-headed cheetah right there, he's not looking to, just because you're like a tiger or a lion kind of status among the feline, Hispania down there. He's not too, he's got his own crew, and they'll fuck you up too. You come into their territory unarmed and without proper escort. It's this, and then like starting in like Texas, kind of like rancher, that's when you get like the old guard who's still like, I know what it still is to be a fucking badass. Like, they're not afraid of these young things. I had a dream though, which a mother who I loved growing up, one of my friend's moms, was like somehow Elmo Blanche, and like so like it's turning into, because of Elmo Blanche, Tommy died, but not because of Elmo Blanche, but because Elmo Blanche just happened to be the key to Andy Dufresne's freedom. I mean, it was a dream, but I analyzed dreams. They've dictated this shitty existence. No shit, homeless man, Oscar the Grouch's protege somehow. You were basing all your shit on dreams? That is only too fucking perfect. How does a genius end up as a dump, a train wreck? He stakes his fortune on dreams. What do you want me to fucking do about it? Anyways, I'm getting off subject here. A shift in paradigm. Man has become utterly passive-aggressive, but police have got it down to art. And it's like, they fuck with your head passive-aggressively because they know it's going to make it easier when they just come and like, oh, you have a warrant for this, which like we were being utterly cool about, but like, just so we can have you in this position right here. And ultimately, the people need the police to not be like that. They want the aggressive. You want the aggressive one. You want the Scotland Yard. You want the one who's going to sniff and like get the details that aren't digital, like body language, tempo, facial expression, voice tempo, voice volume, spontaneity, and like what seems practiced and what seems organic or spontaneous. My lawyer, I was supposed to check in, and I didn't because they slipped me some blues and some milk, and I almost died. And I've never done blues in my life, so I mean, I'm guessing I wasn't going to pass that test, and I was going to go 2 years without them doing that again so successfully in this thing that didn't have right to give me that probation, but had me under restraints. So I can't but acquiesce and thank them for not keeping me in restraints unlawfully, just have me on illegal obligation. So I want to go get asylum in Mexico or something, but they are a peoples that doesn't need me. They have good dogs. Their dogs bark like even if she wants you to be there. I don't give a shit. Your dad is going to be pissed off he's here. I know that. They call it it's an American dingo or a Chihuahua, which is another excellent breed, or a pug Chihuahua, which is another excellent breed, which keeps Don Corleone's daughter a chaste virgin. Don Cornell loses face at negotiation. He has to take up his end up distributing those drugs that he thought was for the other kind. Anyways, I can't go to that check-in because they're fail that, even though I didn't do anything. Toxicology at Valley-wise. Somehow I'm blues. I've never done blues in my life. I'm an upper kind of guy. I'm happy-go-lucky. The most uppity, grumpy, sour Keebler elf you've ever fucking seen with a dick like Moby's. The whale. The white whale. A golden bloom. First, that's I am, white whale. It's mine, I saw it first. Because he did. Years earlier, that's why he puts out the challenges, to get you to look. But he already won. It's his golden bloom. Anyways. I'm reaching out to my mommy, and I'm on my King Kong Godzilla rampages through downtown Phoenix. And my lawyer, my public defender, she's talking to the judge and it's so hard being homeless and going through SAGE program because the judge doesn't know what the fuck it is, and she knows that she doesn't give a shit about human rights or human liberties or what a vile fucking scumbag prey system this is. Boy, and she's coming. So as I'm doing this, she knows that I'm gonna fuck off the mercy they showed me. 2 years. That'll be the second time. Fool me once, kind of thing. Shame on me. Fool me twice. I don't think I had a proper legal representation. LaSalle County had me 2 years, then pulled the rug out illegally and sent me to prison to Nebraska. I was on interstate compacts for a pound of marijuana. And they're supposed to turn in admission forms within a couple months. She said those for the rest of the 2 years. Two of the first 3 months out of 24-month probation, she sent in at the last month, and I went to prison. They were to do that same thing here. You think I'd get a fair probation even though I didn't commit any crime, and what crime I didn't commit? As a homeless man who they didn't care was murdered like 4 times here. You think they're going to give me leniency for the crime I didn't commit and shouldn't be on? For the crime I didn't commit? No, not a fucking chance. She comes out of the fries, like sobbing. My public defender, who's from St. Charles, Illinois. All right. Anyways, and it's so hard. Don't treat me like a fucking toddler. I could see the judge was awful mad. It was Thursday night. It was Thunder Thursday, which she is obliged of the legal system to get the salad, the wheelbarrow of salad. It didn't have extra croutons, and she was very fucking already grumpy about it. I could tell. I didn't get a year probation. I got 2 years probation for something I didn't do. I didn't even know it was a misdemeanor. I thought it was a misdemeanor having a trace amount of G unit, because everybody in all these municipal clusters, when I first got to Phoenix 3 years ago, roughly, it was an open party with booze and meth. There was no caution, there was no repercussion, and kids were dying on the sidewalks, and there's fresh crosses on non-sanctified land that the mom comes to every year and weeps at. God bless her sad soul. I'm so sorry for her. I'm not trying to make fun of her, but it's like, that's still not sanctified ground. Some moron like me might not see the cross and step near it, and then. But that's only if he's like me. If he's like someone else, they might actually piss on it because people just are mad at everything here. It's like, but he's still making a social point that is valid. That's not a sanctified ground. It's sad that kid died there. It's sad that Pfizer had to pay hundreds of billions of dollars for something that the cartels in Mexico are like, oh yeah, that rival of mine that wants to take out Pfizer. And they're taking away our multi-trillion-dollar syndicates, and it's like, what's next, America? No more. Candyland. Anyways, so does that mean that she was not good representation, or that she cares a whole bunch? It's so hard, and I'm like, do you think I think this is the judge's first go around with this? And if it is, do you think that judge likes to hear that kind of nonsense right there? However legitimate it is, and however academically pleasing or displeasing one might find me, I blur all lines. Freddie Mercury's like, I know he's heterosexual, but God, he's charismatic. When he gets in shape and practices a couple times, he can dance. I love dancing, it's so fun. Anyways, a shift in paradigm. Men need to start breakdancing again. We're getting away from the fly guy that made everything fly high. This is called frivolous water overusage. I call it deposit. Because I ain't got money or a bank account, dog. I ain't playing, fool. They cut off my food stamps. I'm eating nothing. That won't stop them from treating me like a savage criminal, even though I'm not, at the time necessarily being. With blood sugar, a high IQ, a total mockery of civil protections, no legal recourse, and owned by shrimp dick fucking angry misers every turn. No matter what kind of crew, they only send their shrimp dickiest and angriest around me so they can get nice and mad and not have any fun when everyone else is like, I can't believe he's still so insightful on new topics and original or just like starts talking about it. And then the traffic's like, what are you? What the fuck are you? Why are you so unpleasant and so universally accredited? What's wrong with God? Tell him to be normal for a fucking second, not such a mystery. You gotta pray for that shit. I'm not God. You think I would be harassed night and day by the law enforcement who just like springs things on me that they concoct literally like in the weeks ahead of time. And I'm thinking at this gym they're gonna just pop up because of some guy who has tricked into probation.